Hi, welcome back. We've got another Wuben light, and this one is the new release X4. It's Wuben's all singing, all dancing light, does a bit of everything. It's probably the most innovative of lights that I've reviewed thus far. As you guys know, I love Wuben lights. We've had a bit of discussion on the channel recently. We obviously have a number of different subjects discussed here. Some people said, oh, I don't like light reviews. Other people really like light reviews. So, you know, if you don't like them, just don't watch this one. Go to the stories, the security stories or whatever. If you like light reviews, then here we go. Here's a light review. So we have the X4. Obviously, it's made beautifully as always, really nicely engineered. Very, very well done. I always congratulate Wuben on that because they use really nice materials. They do a really great job of finishing these products up. It came nicely boxed as always. So obviously we've got that sprung steel clip on the back, very sturdy and removable if you so wish. And then we have a sliding button here. So we start off in moonlight mode at the top. We have a 5 lumen light which will run for 285 hours. So that's absolutely huge. Ideal for going on trips, camping and such. And that can be turned off either on the side here, turned on and off, just a button. But what I really like is they've actually given this clicky little tail switch button. You can just see it there, which makes a really pleasing noise. I'll just hold it up so you can hear. Feels really, really nice. And that's the kind of thing that EDC guys love. Just when it's, you know, you get a button that's like really, really pleasant to push. It gives that nice, pleasing kind of clicky sound. It's really, really affirmative when you press on it. You know, it's not mushy or anything like that. So they've done a great job there. I realise I'm getting a bit anal, but some guys will understand, you know, this stuff is important if you're into your EDC gadgets. Then if we move that sliding button down there, we are now on to main beam. So that comes on full on. I think it's 1500 lumens this puts out, and we have a rotating bezel there which we can just turn. If we turn it one way, it will blink telling you that's at maximum power, and then you turn it the other way and it's dimming that light. So you can completely control how many lumens you want to put out, and it will blink when it reaches its lowest as well. So very, very useful. You've got complete customizable control over light output there, and you can actually utilize the back button again, but this time it won't hold the light on. If we click it, you can see the light just came on and off really, really quickly. So it's just a case of like a tactical tail switch. You're going to hold it on with your finger and then you're going to take it off when you've had enough. You don't always want these things full on. If you're, you know, looking around trying to be a bit more covert, maybe you're an emergency services worker or something like that, and then you want to just get a quick torch onto something and then turn it off quickly as well, that can be really useful. You can also cycle power by double clicking the button. So instead of being like customizable, it will go to its 3 output modes of low, medium and high, like so. Then we move this down once again and we're on to a side light. So you can see there we've got a red side light. We can turn this so we can change the colours that our side light is outputting. Green, yellow, back to red, magenta, blue, kind of turquoise, green again, yellow. So that's pretty useful. I've said about this before, if you're hunting or doing something in an environment where you don't want white light, this casts just enough to read something by, or, you know, make adjustments on your rifle scope, something like that, without maybe alerting the wildlife nearby. And if we long press that button, it will actually give us our white light, which again we can change the power of that by just turning that button, so you can bring it really, really low like so, and then back up to full power if you so wish. That's actually quite a handy light if you just wanted to stand this thing on something and cast a light out to work by, then this is pretty useful. It will dial down to 1 lumens, which would actually give you 720 hours, and then it will dial up to 100 lumens in white light mode, and that will give you 8 hours of light. So, you know, that'll definitely get you through the night, even on high mode, and in low mode, you know, it'll get you through multiple days and more. And if we double click from off, we can do like an emergency flash, keep double clicking. It will cycle through different colours for you. So you've got your blue and red, red and green, and then red, green, yellow, I think that is. So it could be useful if you need to use this for sending signals. And then last but not least, we have the locking option there. So that just locks everything off so it doesn't work. The tail switch in that last mode that we just covered will actually still operate the front head of the torch, the main light. So if you were in that sidebar mode and you turned it off and wanted to quickly get your main beam on, you don't have to mess about changing modes. You just use that tactical tail switch, and that's got your main beam on there. It will strobe if you double click the tail switch. I won't keep that on for too long. I don't want to melt anyone's brains. As you guys know, I'm not a huge fan of strobes. Some people like them. They might think they've got some sort of tactical application. It's not something I would particularly need to use. Maybe it's kind of fun if you and your mates are using them to dance around at a rave or something, but other than that, I don't really see the application of those. Last but not least, we'll take a look at the battery pack. So you can see here we've got a little clip at the bottom. We just put that to unlock. We can then pop that out. The battery door just pings right off, and we have a 18650 battery there from Wuben that can be simply recharged. Just pops back in, locks down like so, and then once you've put that lock down, you can't actually open it up again. The battery doesn't have its own USB because if you slide this right to the top, you can see our USB-C charging port on the device, so you don't have to take the battery out to charge it. But if you so wish, because the batteries are removable, the 18650s, and they're quite popular, a lot of people have them laying around at home, you could have 2 or 3 of those batteries with you and just swap them around when necessary and charge them outside the device in a standard charger. It is magnetic on the base, as you can see. It's magnetised an Allen key to it there, so if you need to stick it to something and use it as a work light, this is particularly useful as a work light. Like I say, it gives you light for a long time, and it's quite diffuse. You know, you don't want a really piercing beam when you're trying to do some work. You just want enough to see by, and this diffuse light is absolutely ideal for that. It's not too harsh on the eyes. It comes with a USB-C charging cable as per usual, and it comes with a lanyard. Try as I might, I cannot see where the lanyard would actually go on this, because it's like, you know, the standard lanyards that they send out. It's normally got a little hole to be passed through, and then you sort of loop it in on itself, but I just can't see any point at which I would actually be able to do that. So slightly confusing there, but to be honest, I simply don't use lanyards, so it wouldn't bother me. I would just use this clip. Let me know what you think, guys. Obviously a great torch, really well priced as per usual. That's one of the things that I like about Wuben. They don't have ridiculous pricing. I'll chuck a link up below. It's only just come out a couple of days ago. I would have liked to have got this video out so you guys could see it on the day of release. Unfortunately, I was at the SEI Arms Fair last week and I was just so busy I was unable to get anything out. So I hope you enjoyed this, and obviously the people that don't enjoy these videos, I hope you've moved along by now and you haven't sat through this and kind of gritted your teeth because I'm talking about EDC flashlights or whatever. Take care, catch you all soon, see you next time.